Okay, hello everyone. This is part 2. Hope you had a chance between part 1 and part 2 to take a break, stretch your legs, get some water, because we're diving back in. I think we last covered send and print, and I don't think I mentioned there's also an icon at the bottom of the screen on the library website for send and print as well. So just so you're aware, you can click send and print down at the bottom of this page instead of typing it in at the top search bar here. Either way, as long as it gets you there, you're good to go. So diving back in, we're going back to the main library homepage. Click University Libraries to get back there. It'll reroute us. Now, I think I covered how to contact us, which is our help desk, Ask Alkek, and the checkout desk on the 3rd floor. Let's say you have a research project or you just need to get in touch with a librarian. You can do that simply by going to our menu off to the side here and clicking Ask a Librarian. So this is what the page looks like. If you're on the San Marcos campus, you'll click Ask an Alkek Librarian. And here it is. Now, because Ask a Librarian is currently offline, your question will go directly to email. But fear not, first thing in the morning when someone logs in, your question will come up and it will be answered. So even if you're not able to get in touch with a librarian at that time, your question will be waiting for them next thing when they get into office. So if it was working and if it was operational at this hour, you could simply log in and start chatting with a librarian. It's an instant messaging service. We also operate through email, which is the default right now, but to do email, you'll just fill this form out right here. And off to the side, you can also find some interesting numbers, things that might be of use. If this is offline, you can also use our contact information here. If you have a research question, you can call the Ask Alkek desk. We're open until 1 a.m. on most weekdays. Okay. At the top, there's also a spot where you can fill out a noise or security concern. Now, if you're studying in the library, you can also call this hotline, and all of these noise concerns kind of go to a person that can handle the situation when it happens. Here's what the little chat box looks like. My face is kind of in the way, but you'll just fill it out with your name, or you can do it anonymously and just give us as much information as possible about the situation and what floor that you're on. Okay, so that's kind of the Ask a Librarian page. And I'm hopping back to the main page once again, just to show you again, that was off here in our little menu, and Ask a Librarian right there. And they're great if you have any questions about a research assignment that you're working on and you're stuck with your research. So segueing into research, we do offer a few options. Here is the Start Your Research, which is kind of the main hub. All of our databases, all of our subjects and materials are in this main search box. So if you start off with some keywords, we can do California native plants and search. Now this is done through EBSCO, which is a database platform. And as you can see, I'm getting 29,000 some odd results. Now I see some PDFs, I see some scholarly journals, and to narrow down my focus so that I don't have to search through 29,000 resources, I can click over here, make sure that it's a peer-reviewed source. Your instructors will request peer-reviewed sources, so make sure you're clicking on that. You can also narrow down your publication dates to the last 10 years. And it's kind of filtering out. So that narrowed down my search to almost half. And now we can also go for what are we getting that's full text that I'm going to be able to see the entire book or the entire article. Okay, so that narrowed it down a little bit more. And we need that peer review button checked. Make sure your sources are peer reviewed. And now you have options like if you know you want to use an academic journal, if you know of a certain database your instructor wants you to use. Here's kind of some of the databases that it's pulling up. But let's say this resource here, this long title, is something that will help you with your research. You'll click on this page, and it is a PDF that you can download. You can save the permalink. You do want to use permalinks here because these links at the top, see it says not secure, and then this long link will eventually expire or it might break. Broken links are not what you want with your bibliography. You want to be able to keep it all organized and all in a place where you know exactly what you need so that you can cite your sources really efficiently. And a good way to cite your sources is to use our citation tool. It's this little yellow post-it note right here. You can click that, and it gives you all the different kind of citation styles. And I know APA is one that is sort of popular, and MLA, which is right here. And it kind of shows you a version of how to cite your source. Now you can double check this. I would highly recommend just double checking this because you don't want to copy and paste and then have something be off. They're constantly changing how your citation styles look. There's always new publications of the MLA style guides. I think the newest one came out in 2019. I may be wrong there. We can double check with the library website, but you want to double check these sorts of things. But it's there for you to use, and it's there as a nice little predecessor. You can also email this to yourself if you want and just type in your net ID there. Great. So that's Start Your Research. And if you have any questions about that, just go ahead and ask us. Now, if you want to take a look at the catalog, we kind of looked over the catalog when we typed in our reserve course. But if you just want to look for a title of a book and you know it off the top of your head, you can go ahead and type it in. And you'll get some options here. And it does show we have a special about Harry Potter and a DVD, the same special, but on DVD. Now, if you want, you can try searching by keyword. That might broaden up the search a little bit more instead of just searching by title. And it looks like we do have more. We have the beautiful illustrated editions of Harry Potter. And it looks like they're part of the juvenile collection on the 3rd floor. And you can write down this call number and go to the 3rd floor and find it. We can go up to any of the floors and help you find materials if you need to. We use the Library of Congress cataloging system, which is not something you'll need to know, but if it helps you to know that, you can always check out how to do that, or you can always come by the library and we'll show you how it works. So if I want this material, I'll go ahead and click on the title. And over here, I'll click, I can send this to myself through text message. So while you're doing your research, if you know you need some book resources for your class, you can search the catalog, type in your cell phone number to get the book sent to your phone, and it'll give you the call number, and you'll just run up to the floor and find it when you're ready. Okay, so that's the catalog. But say there's a book that the library doesn't have that you really need, you can also use Interlibrary Loan. Now, Interlibrary Loan is a service where we can request books from all sorts of libraries. You're going to want to read about certain restrictions that are going on right now with COVID, but just ask us and we'll be happy to help. And there's a bunch of different delivery systems. You can request the book electronically if it's an e-resource, or if it's a article that we can scan and then send you a PDF file of. There's lots of different ways we can do that. Just make sure you're looking at the turnaround times. And you'll click this link at the top and you'll log in, same as you would to log into any of the computers, and just make a new request and it'll be processed and you'll receive an email when it's ready for you to come to the library and pick up. Okay, so we'll go back to the main library website. And I hope y'all don't have any questions so far, but my contact information is on the LibGuide that I've put together for the class, so y'all can always reach out if you need to. Now, there are two special spaces in the library. We have the Slack Lab, which is on the 4th floor. And I'm just going to type in Slack at the top in the little magnifying glass. And here you can kind of find out about that tutorial service. You can view their schedules. You can see kind of what's going on, if they're going to have any instructor sessions online or available virtually. And they do offer their department hours. There's a link to it here as well. So that's the Slack Lab, and we'll be sure to point it out in the virtual tour. And another wonderful little special spot we have at the library is the WITLIF. And if you go to Libraries and Collections and click to the WITLIF collection, they have some beautiful new spaces that are new and newly renovated. I highly recommend going to check them out. And you can find out their hours right here too at the bottom of the page, or if you want to call and contact them and ask them what's new, what's going on, you can check them out there as well. So that's the WITLIF, beautiful part of the library up on the 7th floor. We'll go back to the home page, go back to the library page, and I believe that about covers it. So y'all, I hope you've learned something. I hope you come visit us at the library, but mostly I hope you stay safe and have a really good semester. Stay well, and I'll see you around the library soon. Bye-bye.